Hello, we are going to start off right where we left off yesterday. Yesterday we were talking about the minimum and the maximum. So if we have our parabola that opens up, the minimum is the lowest point, which is the vertex. If it opens down, the maximum is the highest point, which is the vertex. So in both cases, it's the vertex. It just depends on which way it's opening, okay? Now, the minimum, I can't remember what I said yesterday. I might have said the wrong thing, so let me correct it in case I did it. To find the minimum or the maximum, you're finding the y value of the vertex, okay? So in order to do that, what are we going to have to find first? To find the y value, we have to find something else first, and what would that be? The x value. Okay, now how do we find the x value? Number 4 is tell your group, how do you find the x value of the vertex? Go. Okay, so you should have said you would do x equals negative b over 2a. Okay, so we have negative 16 over 2 times 2. So we have positive 16 because negative is positive over 4 equals 4. So there's our x value. Did we find the minimum or maximum yet? First of all, what's this going to be, a minimum or maximum? Is it opening up or down? It's going to be opening up because it's a positive a, so we're going to be looking for the minimum. Okay, have we found that minimum point? Remember, we want to find the y value. Where does it meet that y-axis? So no, we've only found the x. So we need to keep going. We know the x value. Let's see here, is this straight? Better. We know the x value, so now we have to plug it back in. Remember, f of x is just another way of saying y. So we're going to write f of 4. Do you see how we're replacing that x with that 4? So now every time we see an x, we're going to replace it by 4. 2 times 4 squared minus 16 times 4 plus 4. Okay? So then we work through it. 2 times 16 minus 16 times 4 plus 4. 2 times 16 is 32 minus 16 times 4 is 64 plus 4. 32 minus 64. 32 plus 4 is 36. So the minimum of this graph, finding the minimum of this graph is 36. It is simply the y value of the vertex. Okay, so, this is interesting. The x value of the vertex is also the axis of symmetry, right? The y value of the vertex, this would be a great true and false question. The x value of the vertex is the axis of symmetry. True or false? Yeah. The y value of the vertex is the minimum or maximum, depending on which way it opens. Okay, so you're going to try one on your own. See how you do, and then check with the neighbor when you're done. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and give you this one. F of x equals negative 3x squared plus 12x minus 20. Okay, so go ahead and try that. If you are my pauser, come on up and pause the video for just a minute and a half maybe, and then press play and we'll go through it. So you should have come up and paused it. Hopefully everyone got it. Let's start. So first things first, find the x value. Negative b over 2a, so negative 12 over 2 times negative 3. Negative 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. Negative 12 divided by negative 6 is 2. Okay, now this isn't the minimum or the maximum. First of all, what are we finding, the minimum or the maximum? Okay, it's opening down, so we are finding the maximum, right? Okay, but that's not 2. Now we have to plug it in, f of 2. negative 3 times 2 squared plus 12 times 2 minus 20. Okay, negative 3 times 2 squared is 4 plus 12 times 2 minus 20. Negative 12 plus 24 minus 20. 12 minus 20, negative 8. And there is my maximum. Okay, so hopefully that's what you got. The maximum is negative 8. Hopefully you are to the point where you are able to graph things. So let's check your bell work and see how you guys did. Okay, so the first question in bell work was y equals x squared plus 4x plus 8. Okay, first things first, find the vertex. Okay, so x equals negative b over 2a. Negative 4 times 3 times 1, right? Whoops, 2 times 1, my bad. Okay, negative 4 divided by 2 is negative 2. So now I have to find the y value. So everywhere I see x, I plug in negative 2. Now, can I just start squaring this? What's negative 2 squared? Well, it's 4. So 4 plus 4 times negative 2 plus 8. Okay, 4 plus negative, 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. So we're going to get 4 minus 8 is negative 4 plus 8 is positive 4. Okay, so our vertex is negative 2, 4. Hopefully you got that. If not, go ahead and write this down. So we make our table now. The middle value is going to be what? Negative 2. Go 2 below it, go 2 above it. Negative 1 is 0. Negative 3, negative 4. Well, 0 is going to be what? 8, because it is the y-intercept. We already know negative 2, 4 is the vertex. So negative 1. Well, again, can I just do negative 1 squared? That's going to be 1, right? Can I do 4 times negative 1? So we're going to get 1 minus 4 plus 8. 1 minus 4 is negative 3 plus 8 is 5. So we have negative 1, 5. Now, we know that negative 2 is our vertex, but it's also called our what? The axis of symmetry. Okay, so everything starts repeating around that. Negative 1 is 1 above negative 2. Negative 3 is 1 below negative 2. Negative 3 is going to have the same y value. Same with negative 4. Negative 4 will have the same y value as our 0. So that when we graph this, so this is giving you time to write everything down. Make sure you're getting everything written down. Let's see here. All my y's are positive and all my x's are negative. Okay, use a ruler when you do this. Okay, so 0, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Whew, perfect. Negative 1, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Negative 2, 4. Negative 3, 5. Negative 4, 8. We make our curve, and there is our graph. Okay, so make sure you get that down in your notes. And then let's do the next one. So we have, for the next one, let's use a different color, maybe some green this time. Y equals negative 8x squared minus 12x plus 1. So find the vertex first, right? I'm assuming everyone's done this, so we're going to move it off. Find the vertex first. So x value of the vertex, negative b over 2a. So negative 12 is going to be positive 12 over 2 times negative 8. 12 over negative 16. Negative 3/4. Okay, do we know how to work with fractions? Yes. Yes, we do. You can do this. Okay, so if the x value is negative 3/4, we have to find the y value. Negative 3/4 squared minus 12 times negative 3/4 plus 1. Okay, you know how to multiply fractions. You know how to add and subtract fractions. You just got to get this all done, step by step. Negative 8 times negative 3/4 times negative 3/4. Well, what's 3 squared? 9. What's 4 squared? 16. Okay, and a negative times a negative is going to be a positive. So that just stays, that becomes positive. Okay, now you know how to multiply these guys. Technically this is over 1, so this becomes 1, this becomes 2. So now we have negative 1 over 1 times 9 over 2, which is going to give us negative 9 over 2. Okay, now notice this negative times negative. What's that going to make? Positive. And then the 12 and the 4 become 1 and 3. So 3 times 3 is 9. 1 times 1 is just over 1, which doesn't do anything. Oh, well, this is interesting. Okay, so we have one little fraction in there. Well, based off of the commutative property of addition, since there's all addition signs here, we can add these together. So we have negative 9 over 2 plus 10. Well, how do you add things that don't have like denominators? You give them like denominators, right? This is technically over 1, so we got to make them both 2. Well, what's negative 9 over 2 plus 20 over 2? 11 over 2. Whoo! So there we go, negative 3/4 and 11 over 2. Now, do you know where 11 over 2 is? Maybe, maybe not. So we do actually need to make this into a mixed number. Remember, the closest multiple of 2 to 11 is 10 below it. 10, so that would be 5. 10 over 2 is 5.5. 1 extra. That's our remainder. Okay, so this is technically 5.5. So we're going to use that when we graph it. Okay, so now we have to make our chart. Now remember, we said that our middle piece is going to be that vertex. But I'm going to point something tricky out to you that does make these a little bit harder. Okay, so let's see here. X, y equals negative 8x squared minus 12x plus 1, and the ordered pair that follows. So negative 3/4 is going to be in here. Well, what's 1 right below negative 3/4? We had a number line, 0, negative 1, negative 2. This is negative 3/4. So right below it is negative 1. Oh, I guess I should write it. Yeah. And then right below that is negative 2. Okay, above it we've got 0 and 1, right? Okay, now, how far away is negative 1 from negative 3/4? It's just like a quarter. How far away is 0 from it? More than a quarter. It's 3/4 away from it. So is negative 1 and 0 the same distance from negative 3/4? Sadly, no. And you can see that here, right? That distance is definitely different than that distance. So will these two have the same y values? Can we reflect these two across the axis of symmetry? No. And the same goes with these guys, negative 2 and 1. Because this is a fraction, our vertex is a fraction, we can't reflect it, sadly. Okay, so we do know this one, negative 3/4 and what did we say, 5.5? Okay, so then we start plugging things in. Negative 2, negative 8, what's 2 squared? Negative 2 squared? 4. Minus 12 times negative 2 plus 1. Okay, so then we solve this out. Negative 8 times 4 is negative 32. Negative 12 times negative 2 is positive 24 plus 1. And then negative 32 plus positive 24 is negative 8 plus 1 equals negative 7. So negative 2, negative 7. Now, again, we have to work a little harder because we can't reflect things this time. So we have to do the negative 1. So I'm going to put a little mark here so you can see where the negative 1 is starting. Okay, so what's negative 1 squared? Positive 1 minus 12 times negative 1 plus 1. Okay, negative 8 times 1 is negative 8. Negative 12 times negative 1 is positive 12 plus 1. Negative 8 plus 12 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So that ordered pair, negative 1, 5. Okay, the 0 is easy, right? When x is 0, what is y? Boom, our c. So 0, 1, and we have one more to do, the positive 1. Okay, so here's going to be our positive 1. Well, 1 squared is 1 again. Minus 12 times 1 plus 1. Okay, so negative 8 minus 12 plus 1. Negative 8 minus 12 is negative 20 plus 1 is negative 19. So we have 1, negative 19. Okay, if you haven't written all that down, if you didn't get all that written down, take the time to do it right now. I'll give it about 30 seconds, then I'll shift it up and start graphing it. Okay, so I'll give you about 30 seconds to write this all down, and then we'll graph. Okay, let's see what the graph of this is going to look like. Okay, all of our x's are pretty much negative. All of our y's, oh, they're both. Okay, so we're going to have to do both sides. Uh-oh. There we go. Okay, again, use a ruler so that this doesn't happen. I just don't know where mine is right now. Okay, so negative 2, negative 7. Let's see here. I'm going to have to get down to negative 19. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, I'm going to count by 2's. Negative 2, negative 4, negative 6, negative 8, negative 10, so on and so forth. But up here, I'm still going to count by 1's. That's fine. Okay, so let's see here. Negative 2, negative 7. So negative 2, 2, 4, 6, 7. Negative 1, 5, negative 1, 2, 4, 5. Negative 3 quarters, 5 and a half. So negative 3 quarters. Notice it's not quite to 1, it's just a little bit above half. And then 5 and a half. It's going to be somewhere in there, because here's 5, so there would be 5 and a half. 0, 1. 0, 1, 1, negative 19, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19. Okay, so here's how, this is a little hard. Let's see if I can zoom in some. This is a little hard to see the curve, but if you know what a general parabola looks like, you can attach this. So we're going to come up. We know that's the vertex. Come around. And my pen got stuck on a track. There we go. So this is why we use pencils, so we can correct. But you need to be able to see this on the video, so I'm using pen. And there's our parabola. Okay, so because the vertex was a fraction, it made it harder to find the points, but it still makes our parabola. Okay? See, this would reflect across here, this would reflect across to here, this would reflect across to here, all that fun stuff. So there's our graph. Here I'm going to zoom out a little bit in case you need to copy that down. Go ahead and do that. That was the bell work. That took us through most of class, didn't it? So let's see here. Let's do one more. You'll try it on your own and then compare it with your group. So after you have time to copy this down, we'll try one. Oh, nope, never mind. We'll do a word problem. After this, we're going to do a word problem. Okay, so you should have that copied down by now. We are going to look at this word problem. Okay. Oh, good. I think you can see that. There we go. Number 4, that's the one we're looking at right here. Okay, suspension bridges. The suspension cables between, I won't point so you can read it. The suspension cables between the two towers, modeled of Mackinac, I don't know how to say it, it's in Michigan. Bridge in Michigan, form a parabola that could be modeled by the graph of y equals 0.000097 x squared minus 0.37x plus 549, where x and y are measured in feet. What is the height of the cable above the water at its lowest point? Well, what does that sound like? At its lowest point. Hopefully that sounds to you like a minimum. Oh ho 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 ho. Okay, so here's what's going on. We have this bridge, right, with its support cables. And then the bridge has a very strong wire that comes across like this. And so it's asking for its lowest point, or AKA the minimum. What is the minimum value? Okay, well, how did we just talk about, before we went over the bell work, how did we talk about finding the minimum? It is the y value. The y value. Okay, so if I know that y equals 0.000097x squared minus 0.37x plus 549. If I know this is true, how do I find the y value? What do I have to find first? The x value. So negative b over 2a equals negative 0.37 over 2 times 0.000097. Now, can you do this by hand? I mean, yes, you can, but we're going to use a calculator for this. So everyone go ahead and get out your calculators, plug this in, and then see if we get the same answer. Go. Okay, so you plug it in, and I'm going to move this up a little bit. You should plug negative, so 0.37 divided by, and then you would divide it by 2 times 0.000097. And you're going to get approximately 1907. Did you get that? It was like 1,907.22 or something like that. Okay, so now knowing that, did we find the minimum yet? Did we find the y value? Not yet. So we use this inside of our equation to find the y, right? So y equals 0.000097 times 1907 squared minus, run out of space, 0.37 times 1907 plus 549. Now again, could we do this by hand? Yes, but it would take a while. So use your calculator, plug it in, and check with your neighbors to see if you get the same minimum value. Okay, what is the minimum value that you get? I was about to show you using my calculator, but we'll use the one that most of you guys have. Okay, so you need to plug in all of this. So 0.0009 oh, I gotta turn it on, huh? Let's see here. Can I block the, oh, there we go. There's the light. 0.000097 times 1907 squared minus 0.037 times 1907 plus 549. Okay, so get that in your calculator. And did you get approximately 831 feet? Dun dun dun! Okay, so actually in checking my work, I realized I plugged it in wrong. Look at this. So I just pressed up to get into this equation. Okay, I didn't plug this in correctly, so make sure you plug this in correctly. I put 0.037, it's just 0.37, right? So I need to, oops, yeah. I just need to delete that 0. Now I have it, right? 0.37 times 1907. Okay, let's see. That looks better. Okay, 196 feet. Okay, 196 feet. So there's my final answer, 196 feet. That's how high the bridge is above the base of the bridge. How much space there is, 196 feet approximately. And that's just finding the minimum. Find the x value first, plug in and solve for the y. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Good luck with the homework. If you need to, ask each other questions. Work through that. There will be a quiz on Tuesday on this material, on being able to graph and all that such fun stuff. So study hard for that. Make sure you understand this homework. Goodbye.